going to get superintelligence. It's not hype, and it's not designed to distract from other problems with AI. It's what we have believed for a long time. I think between 5 and 20 years, we'll get something like superintelligence.
AI will be one of the most powerful, if not the most powerful technologies humanity will ever invent. We need to take those risks very seriously, and there isn't a lot of time to do the research.
Do you regret something?
We are in a very special place, the building of the Royal Swedish Academy of Sciences. This is where, in accordance with Alfred Nobel's will, the Nobel Prizes in physics, chemistry, and economics are awarded each year. We are here to ask a question to Geoffrey Hinton, the father of artificial intelligence and Nobel Prize laureate in physics. Does he regret what he has created?
Welcome to this press conference and the Royal Swedish Academy of Sciences, and of course a special welcome to our laureates. My name is Hans Eldegren. I'm the Secretary General of the Academy. I open the press conference. Who would like to start, please?
And my first question is to Professor Geoffrey Hinton. You are the father of artificial neural networks. When you look at AI development today, do you regret something? If you could turn back time, would you do this?
There's two kinds of regret. There's guilty regret when you did something and at the time you knew you shouldn't have done it. I don't have any of that. If in the same circumstances, I would do the same again. However, I think it might have been unfortunate in that we're going to get superintelligence faster than I thought. And I wish I'd thought about safety earlier.
And my second question to Professor Geoffrey Hinton and Demis Hassabis: do you deeply believe that something like a superhuman's AI exists if we ever achieve this level, or it's the marketing tick of big tech, huge companies?
I think both Demis and I believe we are going to get superintelligence. It's not hype, and it's not designed to distract from other problems with AI. It's what we have believed for a long time. Now, I thought it would be much further away, but the speed of recent developments means I think it's going to be quite soon. I think between 5 and 20 years, I think Demis thinks in about 10 years, we'll get something like superintelligence. And we have to worry seriously about how we stay in control then.
Well, I agree with what Professor Hinton's just said, and for us, actually, starting a DeepMind back in 2010, we did sort of think through what would happen if we built these kinds of intelligences. Of course, my passion is always to build these types of tools to help us with scientific discovery, as we see today. And I think we'll get amazing things out of that: cures for diseases, helping with energy, climate, a lot of the big challenges we have in front of us as humanity today. But we've always been cognizant as well of the risks that come with any powerful general purpose technology. And I think AI will be one of the most powerful, if not the most powerful technologies humanity will ever invent. So we need to take those risks very seriously, and there isn't a lot of time to do the research and required to think about things like interpreting the systems and controlling those systems. But it's also a societal question about, not just a technological question, about what do we want to use these systems for, how do we want to deploy them, and making sure that all of humanity benefits from what these systems can do.
During the conference, this particular question was also raised: whether regulation today is capable of halting the development of artificial intelligence, and how all of this relates to the ubiquitous interests of big tech companies, including those driven by profit.
A point to make first is that one of the shorter-term dangers of AI is the development of lethal autonomous weapons, and there isn't going to be any regulation there. If you look at the European regulations, for example, they have a specific clause in them that says none of these regulations apply to military uses of AI. So governments are unwilling to regulate themselves when it comes to lethal autonomous weapons. And there is an arms race going on between all the major arms suppliers, like the United States, China, Russia, Britain, Israel, and possibly even Sweden, though I don't know.
I think AI is very important technology to regulate. But I think it's very important that we get the regulations right. And I think that's the hard thing at the moment is it's such a fast-moving technology and evolving so quickly. What we would have discussed regulating a few years ago is not what we would be thinking about regulating now. So what I've been advising governments and civil society to do is to have fast and nimble regulations, maybe build on the regulations in domains that we already have regulations in, like healthcare and transport and so on, and see how the technology develops and then quickly adapt to the way that's going.
At the meeting, we also posed a question to Demis Hassabis, the creator of DeepMind. Do technologies today discriminate, and what can be done to ensure they don't?
Yeah, look, so AI, today's modern AI does require a lot of resources, especially compute resources, and it's very expensive. But a lot of the models that are produced by that are then open source or very easily available off the shelf almost to almost anybody to use it, including a lot of the tools that we've built. So I think there's a lot of democratization of the technology. It's diffusing very, very quickly.
AI is a really, really powerful tool, like a new type of microscope, like a new type of way of getting some information about the world, but we confirm it with experiments. We use it to do the same types of problems as we have before. We maybe even have new problems that look approachable now. And so I think we will see more and more AI pop up as a step within the process, or even the main step within the process of the people that appear for future Nobels, but they won't get it because they brought AI to it, right? It's not just about funding, it's about the discovery, and they will get it because of the discovery. And hopefully even, and you know, the one I really look forward to is when someone is up here where, for example, using AlphaFold or another protein structure prediction tool was the decisive step in them discovering something new about how the cell works, and they're up here for knowing how the cell works.
AI is incredibly powerful, but it should be recognized that deep learning methods require really large and well-curated data sets, and the three of us really benefited from 60 years of hard work by tens of thousands of scientists and tens of billions of dollars of investment in solving protein structures experimentally. And so in a sense, we had this incredible resource there that generations of scientists had put together, and that was why that certainly made it possible to apply powerful deep learning methods to solve these problems. And so in terms of thinking about how AI and deep learning methods sort of progress to extend to science more generally, I think part of that will depend on the extent to which data sets are available or generated of considerable richness in other areas. For example, as we move up the biological complexity ladder, there are obviously huge numbers of unanswered questions. There are data sets. Questions are the data sets really comparable in their depth and richness? And the answer is probably no. So I think it's not just the methods, it's also the data that is really important.
After the conference, we met with the Nobel Prize laureate in chemistry, David Baker. You'll soon be able to watch the entire conversation on our channel, but for now, we're sharing a short excerpt focused on artificial intelligence.
Do you think that this year's Nobel Prize is something like a tribute to Nobel Committee for Artificial Intelligence, for technology? You are sharing your Nobel with co-founders of DeepMind that create the AI system. During press conference, you were sitting next to the father of AI, Geoffrey Hinton. Do you think it's a tribute to the technology?
Well, I think certainly the prizes this year are a testament to the big impact AI is having and really across many domains. In my particular area, what they cited was really work we had done before AI, but on the other hand, the design methods that we've been developing for the last 4 years are all AI methods. So I think it's certainly there was a common theme this year.
In your work, there is more humanity or more computer sciences?
Well, I would say it's both, but it's really, design is very much a human activity because you have to decide what problem you want to solve. And so people come to my group from all over the world, many from Europe, from other places also, and they come with a passion for solving a particular problem, like doing something about climate change or curing disease. And so it's a very human thing, because what are the problems that need to be solved that you would like to design new proteins for? A computer isn't going to tell you that.